Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Brose here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is a cool one, man. I'm not sure if anyone's ever done this, but I imagine that it's out here somewhere. I haven't seen it. I don't watch too many channels or too many videos, um, but I thought this would be a really cool thing to do because my favorite thing about the game is the champions by far, and my favorite thing to do is to open shards and dream about who I want to get in the future, and do a boosted summons, go for that champ. It's very either exciting or heartbreaking. So the video basically is my top 10 most wanted champs, or my wish list. I only did 10 because I don't want I don't make the list too big. I also tried to not make them all legendary, because legendaries I think are the best in the game, the coolest looking, etc. And also, the thing about this list is it doesn't have to be necessarily the top tier best champ. Some are just based off of looks on my list. So my top 10 most wanted champs. I want to start out with number 10. This is the order from the 10 most I want. This is the least out of the 10, and the last champ that I show will be the one that I want the most. But number 10, coming in at number 10 is Sir Nicholas. This guy is a void legendary, so I don't know if I'll ever get him. He has pretty solid ratings, to say the least. Missing in Fire Knight. Let's just go over what he does. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance to place a freeze. Attacks all enemy, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, and it is equal to 30% of the damage inflicted, and it is an HP champ. And his A3 places an killable buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. So this guy is an insane champion with the aura, of course, in all battles by 33%. Insane. I mean, I think this is, I don't want to say one of the best in the game, but definitely A tier, if not S tier. So he's on my list for both, for looks and for his ability in game. Now, coming in at number 9 is, let's see here, Skullcrown. Now, the reason Skullcrown's coming in at number 9 is her ability. Now, she looks, I mean, she's like, there's a reskin, or she is in other characters look just like her, like she has a twin. So she, and I don't think she's like the coolest looking, so I'm not like obsessed with her look. Like Sir Nicholas, I think looks way better, but another void champ. So of course I will pick some of the hardest champs to get. Let's get into her kit. Attacks all enemies, places an extra hit if the target is more than 50% HP. Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a weaken debuff for 2 turns, which is, insane. And then the passive is placing an unkillable buff on a champion for 1 turn every time the HP drops below 20%. Well, then there's a second passive if you have Sinisha on the team, who is her twin, revives the champion with 30% HP. And then the aura is all ally speed in arena battles by 23%. So that is the reason that I want Skullcrown is arena, man. She kicks my butt in arena. This aura is insane, and this passive is insane. And as you can see, arena offense 4.9. So she tears it up in arena. So coming in at number 8 is the only rare on the list, but one that I want desperately. As you can see, I have every rare in the game for Dark Elves, but I do not have Coldheart for some reason. She is insane. She is an S tier champion, as good as almost any epic, up there with some legendaries, and she's only a rare, so she's easy to book up. On her A1, she has a 4-hitter with heal reduction. Attacks all enemies, so she has an AoE that has a decreased accuracy and a 5% poison debuff if the target is under the A1. And then what she's known for the most is her Heart Seeker ability, which you can book to 4 turns. Attacks when enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 100%, has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. Damage increases according to enemy max HP, which is the big thing here, guys. Champions with this tend to be, I mean, there's one or two. I think his name is Defiled Sinner off the top of my head. I hope I'm getting that right. Who has enemy max HP, and he does not hit that hard. But Royal Guard, I have one. He hits so hard, and so does Coldheart. So Coldheart is my number 8. The only rare on the list, one that I cannot believe that I have not gotten. I've opened a bunch of void shards, and I've gotten so many rare dupes, but never a Coldheart. So Coldheart is my number 8. Number 7 on the list is what I think um is the coolest looking champ in the game, if not the coolest. Top 5. Top 5. I mean, this guy is, I mean, his armor is just insane. His shield is insane with the fire. So the reason that, you know, he well, it's kind of 50-50, but I want him because of looks, man. This guy just looks amazing. They did a great job with this guy. Ratings are super solid, and he kicks my butt in arena, just like Skullcrown. So he has the attacks on enemy 2 times. Each has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed. And then his big ability, his A2, is attacks all enemies, has a 70% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff and a 50% decreased attack debuff. So he does both on all enemies, and it messes me up in arena, guys. And then he has a passive, places a 50% increased accuracy buff on an ally for 1 turn each time the ally has a debuff resisted by an enemy. So very, very solid passive, very, very solid champ. He's probably one of the best epic supports in the game, bar none. Okay, number 6, we're keeping it in Bannerlords, is Septimus. I want Septimus so bad. He hits so hard. And for clan boss, he is a monster because of his passive. So A1 attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn, and resets the cooldown of this champion's holy sword skill if the target is killed. So the holy sword attacks one enemy, will ignore shield and block damage buffs. Damage increases according to enemy max HP. We just talked about this. This man hits like a truck, and his A1, if he gets a kill, refills his A2. Insane synergy with the guy. And then the passive is Giant Killer. Each attack has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on a target, which for clan boss, if you have poison, you have decreased defense, decreased attack. Insane champion for clan boss. Damage inflicted by each attack increases by 30% if the enemy's current HP is over 50%. So yeah, my girl has Septimus. She loves him. She calls him her Titan, and I really want this guy, man. I might have to steal her account so I can use some Septimus every now and then. Coming in at number 5 is what I think is one of the best champs in the game for sure. It's Martyr. Now they did a boosted summons for her, and she was the only boosted summons champ, and they did a double chance, I think, or times 10, I can't remember, to get her out of gold shards. And I opened I only had like 3 or 4 at the time, but I opened them all, had no luck, didn't even get a gold. I got all purples, so sad about it. But she probably has some of the best ratings in the game. I mean, she has multiple 5s, multiple 4.9s. Her lowest is like a 4.7. She is bananas, man. And you know, to me, she doesn't look the crazy, like the coolest. So for me, wanting her is just strictly off of just her talent, not necessarily looks. And I love defensive champs. So let's get into her kit. Attacks one enemy has a 45% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff. So she drops defense, and then she increases defense and counterattack on all allies for 2 turns, and you can book that down to 3. Insane. This has got to be one of the best abilities in the game. And then her A3 attacks all enemies, places a 50% decreased attack, and places a provoke debuff for 1 turn. So, I mean, Martyr is just, she's game changing for sure. She would probably change any account she touched. And then her aura, increased ally defense in all battles by 33%. So you put her in the lead, you build her with high defense, and she is going to become an absolute monster. Now, number 4 is somebody that I want really bad. Trunda, man. Probably one of the hardest hitting, if not the hardest hitting arena champ in the game. Now, I will say it is a little bit about the looks, but it is mainly about the skill with Trunda. As you can see, arena offense and arena defense. Insane. So, you know, I really want her for arena. And, of course, Dwarf Faction Wars, which is the hardest faction war in the game. So, we got the A1, which is the stun. And it's a two hitter, so you can take her into Fire Knight. Attacks one enemy, then attacks all other enemies with a second hit, dealing 60% of the damage inflicted from the first hit. So another 2-hitter, but it attacks all enemies. Pretty insane. And then the A3 attacks all enemies, and a 70% chance. 70% chance. It's really high. Placing a stun debuff. And then places an HP burn debuff for 2 turns on enemies under stun debuff. So she has the stun and the HP burn. And then she has a passive. The champion's resistance increases by 10 for each stun debuff the champion places on enemy, stacks across each round in a battle up to 100. So she can increase her resistance up to 100 depending on how many stuns she puts out. And the champion speed increases by 5 for each enemy currently under HP burn debuff. Only counts active HP burn debuff, stacks up to 15. So she can increase her resistance and her speed based off of the debuffs she's landing. And then she has an aura, increases magic ally attack in all battles by 36%. So if you run her with some magic allies, 36% is an insane number, insane aura. You know, I'd rather have all allies or something, but still, you know, her having all this and an aura is just, I mean, it's kind of overkill, honestly. Now, the next guy that I want is, I think he's one of the coolest looking guys in the game. I really do. I don't know how to say the Saito, I'm not sure, but this guy is one of the newer champs. You see, he only has 259 reviews, but I really want this guy. I think he looks insane. Look at these swords, man. Look at them swords. Okay, and he, to my knowledge, is one of the harder hitting champs in the game. Not a really AOE or crowd control, but he is a hard hitter, man. So let's get into it. The A1 can decrease defense and place an extra hit if you get the decreased defense down. Pretty nice. Attacks one enemy before attacking, places a 50% increased attack and 30% increased crit damage buff on the champion for 2 turns if the champion's defense is higher than the target's defense. On the skill by 1 if the target has more than 50% HP after this attack, which is a pretty nice thing to add on top. You can book it down to 3. The A3 attacks one enemy, then attacks all enemies except the initial target if there are 3 or more enemies alive. Inflicts 20% more damage on the first hit if the target has higher max HP than the champion. So don't build them with high HP. And we'll ignore 7, and this is the passive, we'll ignore 7.5% of enemy defense for each time this champion attacks the same target enemy in consecutive attacks or turns. Stacks up to 30%. The stack will be lost and reset if the champion targets in it. Okay, so definitely keep attacking the same person, and this passive will proc, and you'll just end up doing more and more damage. So, and then the aura increases ally attack in dungeons by 30%. So I really want this champion, guys. I think he's super solid, super cool looking, super unique. Okay, number 2, who should be my number 1. As you can see, this is my main account. I don't have miscreated monster on my main account. The reason he's number 2 and not number 1 is because I got him now. I got him on my free-to-play account, so I figured I shouldn't make him the number 1 most wanted because I have him, but he's still my number 2. Even though I have him on my free-to-play account, I want him on my main account so bad. I mean, he is the most fun champ that I've used in this game, and I desperately want him on my main account, guys. Desperately want him. I mean, he's absolutely changed my free-to-play account. I have to make a video about it and him a review or whatever. But this is my number 2. Wink, wink. Most wanted champ in the game. Is, you know, his ratings are insane. Arena, he is so fun. Spider, he's Mr. Spider. But you know, he has a chance to place a stun on one enemy. Hits 2 hitters, so he can take him in a Fire Knight. And if he places stun, 50% chance to place a, you know, the big decreased defense. And then this ability right here is insane. So he attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff on everybody for 1 turn, but get this, places a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns equal to 25% of the damage inflicted. So if you build him with a bunch of HP, damage based on HP, he'll hit extremely hard, and those shields will be so thick. This is, I mean, I think this is my favorite ability in the game. You know, because I build him with high accuracy on my free to play, and he stuns 3 to 4 sometimes, and it is a great feeling, man. It is a great feeling. And then not only does he do that, he gives everyone a shield. And then this is no slouch ability. This is insane because of the passive. But he places a ally protection debuff for 3 turns, and then he heals himself. So whenever he's about to die, I activate this. Boom, half his health is back, and then 3 turns of 15% continuous heal. The guy's insane. And while people are under the ally protection, if they are attacked, his passive places a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn whenever an ally is attacked while under an ally protection buff. And I mean, the guy's kit is, for me, I haven't used all the champs. I haven't used, I mean, I've only used like 1% of the legendaries. You know, I have like 3 or 4 legendaries. So, you know, this doesn't mean much, but he has the most fun kit in the game to me. the most fun kit, and he's my second most wanted champ, even though I have him. I mean, insane. You know, I could have put somebody else up there, another legendary instead of this guy, but miscreated monster. I'm just gonna be honest, man. This is you know, this is who I want. Now, coming in at number one, and this is off pure looks. Since I've started playing this game, I've always wanted this guy. Before I was a baby raider, I didn't know what was really going on. I didn't understand the game. I would see this guy in arena, or I would see this guy in videos, and I mean, he just looks so cool to me, guys. He looks so cool to me. He looks like he would be the strongest champ in the game, just based off of like the arm and the sword and the body, the muscles. So this is my number one most wanted champ in the game, and I've gotten clapped by him in arena. Clan boss is the most important part of the game for me. That's where you start to get the gold shards, right? If you start hitting the hardest, the ultra nightmare or whatever. So, you know, I need somebody like Turvold in there to give me some clan boss and push me to platinum arena maybe one day. I don't know if he's meta or anything like that, but the guy looks like an insane champ. He plays like an insane champ. When I fight him, he typically tears me up in the arena, and I have a pretty solid arena team. But let's get into his kit. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 55% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. So he's got the weaken. And then this, I love this. Places a 50% increased attack, 30% increased crit rate, and 30% increased speed on the champion for 2 turns. And then you get an extra turn. Now, this is where it gets really fun. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. If the target is killed, resets the cooldown of this skill. I mean, holy smokes. So you wouldn't want him to go like first or second. You probably want to go third. You want to throw as many buffs on him as you can. Maybe an increased defense from somebody, increased attack. He's going to give himself the increased attack, actually, the increased crit rate and increased speed. But, you know, whatever buffs you can get on him, then have him go, put this on himself. He gets the extra turn. Then he hits with this. And the more buffs you have, the harder he hits. And I'm sure he hits hard just in general if you build him right. And then if he gets a kill, it resets this. Wow. So, you know, it's basically having your A3 over and over and over if you're getting a kill. So, you know, if you have him going second or third, and you have, you know, I don't know, an AoE attacker who takes a little bit of damage off them, and you can give him enough buffs to one shot each person. Insane in arena. And his aura is increases ally attack and faction crit by 42%. That is dirty. That is dirty. So, you know, if I ever get him, he'd be my lead in faction for sure. And I would run him with some attack barbarians. But anyway, guys, that's it, man. That's my wish list. There's some amazing champs, man, that, you know, I didn't say these are the 10 best champs or anything like that. These are just the champs that I want, because some of the best champs in the game, I did not put on this list. So this was looks and just personal preference and just champs that I think are really cool that I want. So that's my wish list, my top 10 wish list now, guys. I think I might do it again in a month, if new champs come out, or if I get some of these champs. I have to, you know, shuffle it around and take them off the list. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, man. I thought this would be a cool video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And, you know, drop in the comment section who some of you guys' favorite champs are, you guys' most wanted champs are. But anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you all in the next video.